So I was living in Salt Lake City, and in this particular congregation, Saturday morning was the normative service, and you get used to the regular faces you see come in and out, and I'm sure that the way that it happened, although I don't remember it distinctly, was that there was a face that I wasn't used to seeing. And it wasn't just because this was a black man. We had people of different races as part of our community, as most Jewish communities do, but this was a man I hadn't seen before. And as these things happen over time, we get to talking, and I get to meet Eric Nkurunziza. And I learned that Eric is not Jewish, but has an affinity for the Jewish community. And I'm a curious person by nature. If I'm being generous, if I'm being less generous, I'm very nosy. And so I asked, what is it, Eric, that draws you to this Jewish community in Salt Lake City? And he says, when no one else would help, the Jews came and they helped. And what he was talking about was around 30 years ago, the genocide perpetrated against the Tutsis in Rwanda. Eric and his immediate family are survivors, and he and his wife Providence, or Pravi, will be coming and speaking here at BHSS on Wednesday, April 17th at 7:30 p.m. It's a harrowing story, the one that they tell, and I have heard them speak before. In fact, Eric spoke before Pravi came over to the United States. He taught our community in Salt Lake City a lot about himself, about the history, and about what that genocide looked like. Now, you may have heard other people call it just Rwandan genocide, and one of the things that I have learned from Providence is that it is now, the way that they refer to it is the genocide perpetrated against the Tutsis in Rwanda, because there is a revisionist history that is going on that says that the Tutsis were also perpetrating genocide, and it's so hard to hear as a person with Jewish roots, with roots in the family who perished in the Holocaust, to hear that the way that history gets rewritten so that our history sometimes doesn't even belong to us. And when it comes to Rwanda, so many of us, we know that there was a genocide and we don't know the whole story because for whatever reasons, and there are myriad reasons, the West pays far less attention to what's happening in Africa. These are dear friends of mine, and they have a story to tell, a story that is worth hearing, a story that is worth us witnessing. And there are so many overlaps between their history and our history, but also as compassionate people who want the world to be better, it is a significant and important thing for us to witness, to mark, to pay attention to what has happened in history, and not just our own history, but history of the world at large. And when they come on the 17th, I will tell you, it will not be an easy story to hear. And it is so, so important for us to listen. And so I invite you to take a breath, to brace yourself, and to go and to be fully present, to hear a witness testimony. The world that we live in can be a hard world. And these are also survivors, and their stories tell us about the world that we live in, about what it means to be resilient, about what it means to continue to be witnesses and to be present in a world that sometimes doesn't want to hear a hard story and sometimes wants to tell a story in a different way than the way that it actually happened. So please come, join us, listen. Appreciate it.